Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, and we just did a dab of diamonds, baby. That's right. I told you I was gonna bring out the dab rig at some point, and I finally did it. I finally cleaned it proper, and yeah, it was worth actually breaking it out. So in about 10 minutes, I should be fucked. I hope you guys had a great week. I hope you're having a great Friday. Thank you again for joining me, Justin Barone, Thoughts Off the Stem, on Friday at 4:20 to start off your weekend. I'll really appreciate it. So this one goes out to you. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming by. All right, so this is the favorite ways to smoke episode, because why the fuck not? This past weekend, I told you I had a buddy come down. We were going to shoot some episodes, but he's a lawyer, and he got all worried about how his image would come off. So we didn't do any episodes, but we had a great fucking weekend. And we talked about all the fun ways to smoke weed. So I figured I could at least convey the conversation to you. And I also got the chance to try out Collab Diamonds, which is what I just smoked out of there. And just to give you an idea of what this is. So diamonds are THCA. It is, I guess, the chemical compound or molecular compound that's like one step before THC. It essentially takes heat activation to turn THCA into THC. It's apparently, because I don't know for sure, I've heard in the CanCell course that I did, they said that it is the purest form of THC. I could tell you that as soon as I smoked it for the very first time this weekend on Saturday, it was. And I'm going to tell you what my experience was like in a minute. But first, so this is how pure this shit is, okay? It is 88.3% THC. It can be, depending on the brand and the manufacturer, I guess. It can be up to 100% THC, which is a lot of THC, and it is a powerful hit. The beauty of it is that it's like a clean hit. It's not like, how can you explain it? It's not like, so you smoke a joint, right? And yeah, it's great to smoke a joint and all that stuff, but you have that kind of like dirty stink to yourself, that kind of like heavier feel to the way that you smoke. You feel a little heavy, little, I don't know, a little bit, I feel a little dirty. Not really dirty, but you know, I think you know what I mean. So this stuff is very, very pure. If you've ever smoked, like any kind of concentrate, whether it's like a cartridge on a vape pen or something like that, I don't know if you noticed, but the smoke just seems cleaner. It seems like there's less to it and more, like there's more flavor to it. There's more direct. I don't know how to describe it really, but it's more of a direct feeling. Like it's pure. It's more pure. Let's put it that way. That's the only way to explain it. But it's fucking incredible, man. I'm not saying that everybody should go out and do this. I'm not saying that it's something that you should strive to get to. But if you're an enthusiast and you've been smoking for a really long time and you really enjoy smoking weed, this is something worth trying because the effects of it are fucking crazy, man. Oh, wait, before I get into the story, because I was about to tell you the story. So, before I get into the story, again, in the joint, we're smoking on some O-Gen Freshly Baked. Now, let me give you a little review of this, okay? This shit is aptly named. You feel freshly fucking baked after you smoke this stuff. It for a hybrid that's sativa-leaning hybrid, it's fucking incredible. I was thoroughly impressed. Like, so MTL Sage and Sour, if you've ever tried that, that's really good. And this blew that out of the water, in my opinion. Because it got me the right kind of high. Like, you could maintain and all that stuff, but then when you started to come down, if you smoked a little bit more, you could get right back up to where you were. You don't just level out. You get, like, right back up. It was nice. I got some really good sleeps off it. And the same with the diamonds. Anytime I smoke the diamonds, even though it is a sativa, because I'm too afraid to try dabbing with an indica, I feel like I'll just pass out. But with the THC diamonds, that stuff's great. You get all fucking wired. You just want to do stuff and have a good time. And on the come down of that, it's a really comfortable, laid back. You can easily fall into sleep after you've smoked it. So in the joint today, with our glass tips as always, we've got a little bit of Orange Monkey. It's an indica. It's 20. This one is 22 points. No, oh shit, my eyes are all messed. 22.6% THC, and then the OGen freshly baked is 24% THC. I don't know if they'll balance each other out, but we were smoking them all weekend, and fuck, they were really good. It was a good Saturday. You know, we could, with these, okay, so we didn't smoke the, what is it? The Orange Monkey. We didn't, from Live, I think, or Live. We didn't smoke the Orange Monkey until the evening, because it's too high an indica. We smoked primarily the OGen, and my buddy, who can't smoke joints the size of this. So this joint is probably about a gram, roughly, and it's probably the size of a king-size cigarette, maybe a little bit thicker, okay? He smokes little, like, pinners. Like, they're full paper pinners, but they're like a quarter of the size of this. They're tiny. And he took like 2 or 3 hits off it with the indica, and he had to stop. He's like, dude, I can't do this. I didn't realize he had taken time off, so, you know, I gave him a little extra. I also, like, we were smoking all this different stuff, so I figured, you know, I didn't think it'd be anything. Anyway, it was a thing. He didn't, it took him a bit to sort of settle into the weed, but he really enjoyed it, and he really liked the OGen too. And then I started telling him about doing these fucking diamonds, man. Okay. Again, I hadn't done these diamonds. I got these specifically because I told him a long time ago when he was going to come down, we were going to do a podcast, and I was going to introduce him to doing dabs. And he was all gung-ho. But this is Dave. This is the way Dave is. And I love Dave for it. But I knew when he got here, he'd be a little bit worried. Because he's very professional. And even though it's legal and things like that, you know, he still wants to maintain an image. And I understand that. But I will say this. I told him that I was going to introduce him to these dabs. He started super excited, ready to go. By the time he got here, he was sitting on the right side of the table. And I was like, dude. He goes, what is it? What am I in for with these dabs? He's like, I don't want to green out. I don't want to freak out. I don't want to, like, you know, I'm like, you're not going to. And then I proceeded to paint a picture of what it's like to do a dab for the first time. Which is basically, you get hit with a wall of high, okay? And all you could do is just stare off into space. You can, at least this was my experience. The very first time I took a dab, I ended up on this table just with my head in my hand, staring off into nothing. And I didn't think for like a good 25, 30 minutes. So I was like, dude, it's awesome. If you have nothing to do, if you're just hanging out, you smoke a dab and you can just entertain yourself with all your stupid brain thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, and then, you know, you don't want to take too much, but maybe you take a little more. You got to give it time to set in. And I didn't realize that, so I took a little more the first time, and then it really set in, and then I was done for a while. So then he started getting nervous. And I understand. Because I kind of painted a picture where it was a little excessive. And it wasn't that I did it excessively. Like, I took my time doing dabs and learning how to do them. But I came across as explaining it like, man, you've never been high like this before, dude. And it's not really like that. It's just, it's like, okay, if I can explain a dab, if you've been smoking for a really long time, you smoke weed or whatever for, you know, years and years, and you do it on a regular basis, okay? If you're thinking about taking a dab, the dab is basically, the first time you do it anyway, because you get comfortable with them really quickly, but the first time you do it is like the first time you did weed. It's like a weed reset. And you get fucking like that. I mean, I did. It felt like almost the exact same. It felt almost exactly like I had just smoked my first joint. I was taken back to being like 17 years old, sitting in my buddy's fucking doorway while his parents were gone with 5 other guys, being like, I want to try weed. Can I get high? Let's get high. And they were like, okay. And there was like 6 of us. I felt exactly like that. But when I took the dab, I didn't have anybody around. So I explained this to Dave. And he sort of settled in. I said, look, I'm not going to give you too big a dab because I don't know what the diamonds are like either, right? So I was going to test them out first anyway. But I said, based on what I take, you are going to take like a quarter of that. And you should be okay. So I took my dab. Dude, wow. I took a hit of this fucking diamond stuff, okay? And I only put like 2 tiny... Here, look, I'll show you. Sorry for the people that are listening. But for the people that are watching, I'm going to show you. There are little rocks and then there are big rocks in here, okay? So these little rocks, all right? The little itty bitty rocks that are in there, those are the ones that I took. And I took like 3. I took 3 medium-sized like little rocks, okay? I hit them in the dab. And dude, I had to let it cool down and stuff, but I was getting ready because the torch had gone out. So I was refilling it and waiting for that to cool down and give Dave his. And by the time I was ready to start cooking his up, I got nailed with the dab because it was like 10 minutes later, right? And, okay, so this, when I dabbed, what was it? When I dabbed the OG ChemDog Live Resin, that stuff was all like head. It was all, hey, you can't think right now. Your brain's going to shut down and you're going to find the dumbest shit funny, okay? That's what it was like. Then, the diamonds, it came from like the chest out. It was fucking rad, dude. It felt like I smoked it, and then it felt like this like circle of pure joy. Okay? Not to glorify weed, but I'm saying this circle of joy went from the center of my chest all the way out of me. Okay? It went to my fingertips. It went through my arms. I was sitting at this table. It went down through my toes. And I was right in the middle of saying something to Dave, and I just pulled a, oh. Okay? And I was high. There was music playing. Dude, I felt the music, man. Like, I felt it in waves. I had never been, wow. Okay? It's the most pleasurable experience I've ever had smoking weed. That's all I'm saying. So I really enjoy these things. I'm very impressed. So collab, whatever you're doing with your diamonds, right on, man. Fucking way to go. Okay? Maybe it's the first experience kind of thing, sure. But, dude, this shit was... Damn. I'm telling you. If you want to try them, I really suggest trying them. But, take it slow. Unless you're a dabber. If you dab all the time, I mean, you could probably take a bigger dab than I did the first time. But if you haven't done it, if you do not jump right into that shit. I gave Dave, like I said, a quarter of what I took. And he's like, I'm not as high as you, but he's like, the high is so clean. He's like, the come down's clean. It doesn't feel like you're bogged down and foggy. You just kind of like even out to normal again. I felt that too. I also find that, I got really good sleep off it. So even though I don't have an episode to show you with them, unfortunately, that's our dab story. And since we're talking about that, let's talk about what THCA actually is. Okay? So, ganja gong time. So give me a second here. All right. So THCA, and I'll put the article in the description. It's on, weedmaps.com. THCA and THC, what's the difference? So the notable points, okay, are that THCA is a molecule, right? See, so I was wrong in the first place anyway. I should just read these things without my opinion, but whatever. Okay, and it's got to be able to fit into your CB1 cannabinoid receptor. THC is the molecule size that fits. So THCA doesn't get you high, but THCA becomes THC through the process of decarboxylation. Yeah, decarboxylation, where heat removes, what is it here? Heat removes a carbolic acid group from THCA, altering the THC chemical structure. That makes it perfect. That makes it the perfect shape to fit into your endocannabinoid system, ECS, and brackets ECS, obviously the initials, and the CB1 receptors that run throughout your central nervous system. That's allowing for the classic elevated experience. But THCA is like, it's pure. Where does it say that in there's a I don't know. I'll put it in the description. But anyway, it's fascinating to read about this stuff because the fact that it's essentially in the form that it's in the crystal form, it doesn't do anything to you. But as soon as you heat it up, kablow! You're awake. You're ready to go. You're in a whole nother world. Dude, it felt like my insides were being hugged by, like, I don't know, a velvet grandmother. That's the stupidest way to put it. But I can't describe it. If you try it, you'll see what I'm saying. If you've already done it, then you probably know what I'm saying. Or you think I'm fucking wacko. Which is fine too. I will be a little bit wacko. Just for the fun of it, baby. Alright, so this is what I want to know. I always like to know this about people. What are your favorite ways to smoke weed? Like, I started out obviously smoking joints. I wonder if everybody starts out smoking joints. It'd be a good question to, like, ask people. You start with a joint, you take, like, who's the guy that took a bong hit first? I couldn't see myself taking a bong hit as, like, getting my first time getting high. There's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to level up. And you have to build that tolerance before you start doing other things. Like, I remember the first time I hit a fucking bong. Dude, I was blown away for a while. For, like, hours. It took for, like, 4 hours before I was coming down. So high. So what I'm trying to say is bong is, like, my number one favorite way to smoke weed. The way I normally consume weed is through a joint. Because it's more social, I find, than a bong. I mean, I like to smoke the bong and open the show. I like the dab rig and stuff like that. But I'd say the bong is my go-to. Is that your go-to? I don't know. I like the bong. I like a joint, but I smoke joints more often. That's what I'm trying to say. Jesus Christ, man. I smoke joints more often than I smoke the bong now. But for like 5 years, I smoked the bong way more than I smoked a joint. I would smoke a joint on the weekend or when I was with friends. And that was it. But now, maybe it's an age thing. Because now all I do is sit in here, smoke a joint, watch a movie, do a podcast, talk shit. I like dab rigs because, like I said, how do you not have an experience like that and not like a dab rig? You know what I'm saying? It felt like pure joy coming out of my chest, dude. Do you know what that feels like? Oh, it felt so good. But again, you may not react like that. And don't do it irresponsibly either. Take your time. Little baby steps if you're not used to it. How else do I like to smoke weed? I tried buckets once. I fucking hate buckets. Dude, why do you want to force the weed in your face? Like, why not just take, a joint? You can just take a couple little hits here and there. Dude, I'm good. I can fucking drink some water, whatever. I always wanted a gas mask. Put on a gas mask. Have you ever tried a gas mask? Dude, it's so nasty. It covers your whole head. Like, I think it made me allergic to weed. Like, weed smoke. Because every time I'd use one, which was not that often, like 2 or 3 times, I'd come out of it the next day, I'd have fucking pimples all over my face. It was horrible. It was no good. So I stayed away from that. Have you ever tried poppers? I talked about it on one of the audio episodes. Don't do poppers. That's my fucking disclaimer for life. Whatever you do, stay away from doing poppers. You cannot, it's so addictive. It turns weed into like the crack of weed. You know what I'm saying? It makes it worse because you smoke tiny little amounts through like generally a homemade like pipe bong thing out of like let's say a pop bottle and like some kind of tube. And then you just light that weed, haul it until it pops all the way through. And then you take that full blast. Even though it's a tiny little pinch of weed, like it's nothing. It would be like packing one of those one-hitter cigarette-looking things. It'd be like packing the end of that. And you, pow! You take that, dude, you get so fucked up. You get so high so fast. And then the next thing you know, every like half hour, you're blasting like 1 or 2 more of them. Because it starts out where you only do like 1 popper and you're good for like 4 hours. And then after, I don't know, a little while of doing that, it ends up becoming, I need like 2 poppers a turn and then 4 poppers a turn. And then next thing you know, you're going through like fucking quarters of weed or half quarters of weed every day. That's why it becomes the crack of weed. It's also disgusting. At least the way the guys that I knew who did poppers, the way they did them, the stuff they used was just gross. I do not recommend trying or getting involved in poppers. That's what I'm saying here. Don't fucking do it. But do try dabs. They're a lot of fun. I really like dabs. What's your favorite way of smoking? That's what I want to know. I want to get a little dialogue going. What do you like to smoke the best? Leave it in the comments. I'll answer you. I check it out every day. Excuse me. What do you think? What do you think is the best way to smoke weed? Not to smoke weed. Not just to smoke weed. To ingest weed. What do you think is the most efficient and effective? Because I'm starting to think that the right edibles are probably the best way to go. You know what I'm saying? Because smoking it is still smoking it. And there's still a little bit to be found out and learned about like what vape pens and things will do. Dabs are supposed to be good because it's essentially vaporizing whatever it is that you're smoking. So like I get that. But at some point, I would imagine if like it comes down to it and you can't smoke anymore. Let's say you can't do a dab. You can't take a bong hit. Can't smoke a joint. Edibles would be the way to go. Not like topicals. I mean, I guess you only have edibles at that point. Damn, I'm fucked. This weed's really good. It makes you think stupid and say dumb things. Oh, dude. I'm so high. I hope you're enjoying the sesh. I know I'm rambling on about nothing. But what I'm really saying is every time I try a concentrate in this dab rig, I'm thoroughly impressed with it. Because I feel like part of getting high is like, it's enjoying the high and being able to like have fun with the high and relax and whatever you do. But I think another part of it too is still trying to find, like, the first time you got high and got really high, it was fun as shit. I would think. I think for like people that enjoy weed, right? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm talking shit right now. But what I'm saying is, I feel like if dude, come on, man. I'm getting really high right now. I'm sorry. It's all collapsing on me at once. What I'm saying is, thank God, a dab puts you right back to that fucking point. It puts you back to that reset. The first time you try a dab, even after that, like, I couldn't smoke a dab every day. I need like a week between dabs. But normally, well, I mean, not normally, but like when I've had dabs, I only have them like on special occasions. I've said this before. I only have them on special occasions because that's what I feel like. They're like the cake of weed. So I would go down to just being able to smoke dabs and eat weed in some kind of edible form. Take pills, whatever. I would miss smoking for sure, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to eliminate it from my life. Although I find that also, dabs, even like, I'm not a big fan of shatter and I'm not a big fan of like oil, but I've tried both. But they're not as up a high. Like they don't feel as clean. I don't know why, but they don't feel as clean a high as like the diamonds do in that OG resin, OG Chemdog Live resin stuff. Those two seem like they're really nice, is what I'm saying. You get really fucking high off them, as you could tell. So I'm gonna say those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. Thanks for joining me, Justin Barone, watching me do a dab, smoke a joint, tell you what my favorite things are to smoke. Bong is definitely number one because it's the quickest hit. But thank you for joining me this week. I hope you come back next week. Thoughts off the stem with me, Justin Barone, at 4:20 p.m. on Friday on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Amazon, Amazon Music, Google Play, I think. Yeah. What else? Good Pods. I said YouTube already. Dude, I'm high. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Like I said, I hope you come back next week. Don't forget to check out the Tots 420 shop on the Tots 420 link tree in my bio, on my everything. Check us out on Instagram at Thoughts Off the Stem Podcast, and Twitter at Tots 420. Until next time, keep your lids low, baby.